Leaked information for Pop Smoke's case will shock you.
Is it annoying? Do you like it or you don't like it?
It's cool when it's good.
As you all know by now, Pop Smoke, Brooklyn's rising drill rapper, was shot and killed last month in what was originally believed to be a home invasion gone wrong. The young Bashar Jackson, most well known for his deep voice and villain-like flow, was only 20 years old at the time of his death. While we've somewhat healed from the devastating news, there's still work to be done before anyone can rest easy. As we speak, police are still hard at work to find the men responsible for the heinous crime. However, what we now know, as the case continues to develop, is eye-opening to say the least. Thanks for joining us on Lime Report, guys. Today, we'll be going over some recent leaked information regarding Pop's murder investigation. Make sure to watch until the end, as some of this stuff may come as a shock. Before we go on, remember to like this video, comment keyword Dior, and subscribe to our channel for a chance to win our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. Now let's begin. It's been around a month since news of Pop Smoke's tragic death. After following the crucial first week of his case and watching his funeral from afar, we've been thinking, isn't it about time the police made some real progress in this investigation? With the amount of evidence, eyewitnesses, and security footage that cops claim to have received, you would think that we would have received some sort of clue as to what's going on, right? Yet police have been mostly quiet, especially in the days following his funeral. Well, it turns out there's a specific reason for the delay. Thankfully, we here at Lime Report have dug deep and uncovered the true reasons behind the delay and what the cops are trying to keep away from the public. We're about to reveal the true reasons authorities have been so quiet, so make sure you stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Back on February 19th, Pop Smoke was hanging out in his Hollywood Hills home when 4 masked men broke into the home and shot him dead. While it was originally reported to be the result of a break-in gone wrong, police began to question the true motive of his attackers. See, the thing is, while the attack was made to look like a robbery, that's actually pretty far from the truth. So while police have continued their investigation, we've all been left to speculate what the true reasons behind the attack really are. Thanks to inside resources, we are now certain what moved Pop Smoke's assailants to come after his life. Keep watching. What happens next will leave you in disbelief. Thanks to some freshly leaked intel, here's what we now know to be the events detailing Pop Smoke's tragic demise. On the night of the 18th last month, Pop Smoke was celebrating his growing success with his friends in downtown LA. According to multiple reports, he was hosting somewhat of a block party around his home before heading out for a night on the town. That same day, Pop had been seen on Instagram with his brother Mike D, flexing stacks of cash in a new SUV. One of the pics, though, contained Pop Smoke's house number. These two facts combined meant that many were aware of Pop Smoke's new Hollywood address. And while that fact originally caused a lot of problems for D, it's been confirmed by multiple different sources that he was in fact not the one to set his brother up for a hit. So with that, what led Pop Smoke's untimely death? Well, while we can only really blame jealousy, what seems to be the most powerful factor in Pop's demise is his own social media. Prior to his death, Pop Smoke received a gift bag from Amiri, most likely due to the fact that he's constantly shouting them out in his hit songs. The bag was sent as a token of appreciation. However, in a sick twist of fate, that very gift is what led to the end of Pop's legacy. Just before his death, Pop Smoke was seen flexing the Amiri gift back on social media, which is pretty normal. Except for the fact that the bag had his Hollywood Hills address on it, and while it only showed for a split second, it was enough for those with steady pause game to be able to find his California address. This spelled the eventual bad news of Pop Smoke. As a known crip, it was essential for Pop Smoke to move carefully, especially after he had made it big. 50 Cent, who is considered Pop Smoke's mentor as he rose to the top, said it best. No such thing as success without jealousy, he stated in a photo of the two. Treachery comes from those who are close, rest in peace. Though his caption seems to allude to the fact that Pop Smoke was set up, most people aren't so sure about that anymore. What's more, just because someone is close doesn't mean we consider them a friend. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? Yet it seems like Pop and his camp let the enemies in just a little too close this time. As more information is released by officials, it seems more likely that there were enemies lying in wait to strike at Pop when his guard was down. With all the chips falling into place that night, his attackers found the perfect time and cover story to strike. Don't go anywhere, as these next facts are chilling. You won't want to miss this. From what we know, the circumstances surrounding Pop Smoke's death sound like a pretty cut and dry case of assassination by a jealousy party. However, as new details unfold, it doesn't seem to be as clear as the initial look suggests. The thing is, everything leading up to the attack doesn't really add up. It's pretty confusing. Pop Smoke got home around 4 a.m. on the 19th. Just 10 minutes later, his assailants break into his home and are able to move through the house pretty easily, find Pop Smoke, and kill him in cold blood. While Pop Smoke wasn't the only one home at the time of the break-in, he was the only one injured. What's more is that when detectives took a look at security footage from the home and around the neighborhood, it revealed that the alleged robbery didn't even involve theft. After further examination of the crime scene, police confirmed that while petty theft did take place, no major items were stolen, and even further, no ransacking had occurred, ruling out the robbery. No alarms went off since the home security was unarmed at the time. Stranger still, though, is the fact that none of the witnesses inside the home called cops. That's right, Pop was not alone. There were several people in the home with Pop Smoke, yet none of them called 911 to help him. The reporting call actually came from somewhere in New York. At first, this seemed really odd, yet after sifting through the case files, it makes a little more sense now. The fact that no one called the cops was a little troubling. After all, their friend was shot in cold blood and dying. So what did they do and why? What we now know is that someone from inside the home made a call to one of their good contacts in New York to tell them what had happened. This was done for two reasons. Number one, to alert his friends and family as to the tragedy, to keep them up to date on the situation. Number two, to avoid being caught by the police. Remember, Pop Smoke and many of his friends were known gang members. It goes without saying that some of them may be in current trouble with the law, as was so common for the members of his camp. Therefore, to avoid being caught up on any possible warrants as well as being able to help their friend, they used a New York friend to call in the break-in instead. Now, while this theory isn't 100% confirmed, it seems to be the most logical explanation as to why it took so long for police and paramedics to arrive on scene. Okay, so that makes sense. But why haven't cops made any new progress on this investigation? Well, there's a logical explanation for this as well. According to the lead detectives, no one is helping authorities get to the suspects. We're told that the eyewitnesses were originally detained at the scene in an attempt to establish a motive and story for the incident, as there were plenty at the scene during the time of Pop's death. That's usually great news, but not so much for this instance. Many of the witnesses were completely unhelpful to authorities during questioning. Some of the witnesses were not willing to cooperate with law enforcement, while others were continually changing their stories of the events. Either way, police have been unable to use any testimonies given so far due to the unreliability of the ones closest to Pop during his last moments. To make matters worse, police haven't been able to connect any neutral third parties willing to cooperate. It's tough to find anyone willing to recall the events of the 4 a.m. shooting in Hollywood. While the witnesses have not been very helpful during the investigation, Pop Smoke's family has pleaded with everyone to step up and provide better testimony to help push the investigation in the right direction. From the time his death was reported until now, Pop Smoke's family has been keeping close contact with LAPD in hopes of finding their fallen son's killers. Yet, it seems as though his camp has different plans. Why doesn't his team provide the authorities with more useful information? Simply put, revenge. See, Pop and his team are known to be members of a gang heavily tied to Crips in Brooklyn. In gang life, and very apparently in Pop Smoke's life, when one of their brothers falls, it's up to the remaining members to deal out the justice. This seems a little far-fetched at first. However, Pop Smoke and his friends are no strangers to exacting their own justice. Back 7 or 8 years ago, a video of 3 opposing gang members surfaced on the internet slapping a young Pop Smoke and humiliating him for representing himself as a Crip. Last year, in an act of vengeance, Pop Smoke found one of his tormentors and jumped him with Pop's whole crew. Pop Smoke and his team were no strangers to these type of things. In the rough neighborhood of Canarsie, it's eat or be eaten. Truth be told, there's been another unforeseen roadblock that has led to the slowing of Pop Smoke's murder investigation. Lately, a certain medical crisis in the US has led to a bit of a slowdown in the active investigations. While we hope that everyone and their affected families in this situation stay safe, it's understandable that something so serious has slowed law enforcement slightly. Despite this, life must go on, and we are confident Pop Smoke's killers will be caught in the coming days. Unfortunately, Pop Smoke's death remains a mystery for the time being. While we are confident that justice will eventually prevail, we're not exactly sure where it will come from, the justice system or Pop's mourning brothers. Tell us what you think of Pop Smoke's untimely death and ongoing investigation. Will Pop's killers finally be caught? Will this story continue to shock us with the unexpected twist of a betrayal? Did someone set up Pop Smoke for his grisly demise? Thanks again for tuning into Lime Report. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment the keyword DIOR for a chance to win our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway.